their quest in 14-degree weather. No problem for them, could cause some trouble for their opponent. The Texans have not fared well in the cold. Over the last 15 seasons, they are 1-9 in games with freezing temperatures. 2 of those losses coming in Kansas City. You remember what happened in 2019 in the divisional round and then this season as well. Those games have not been close either. Average point margin negative 12.3 in those contests. Here is their head coach, D'Amico Ryans.
The weather can be a challenge if you allow it to be a challenge. For me and for our guys, it's something we can't control. You don't control the weather. It's not a challenge for us. It's just something the other team has to deal with as well. So we're ready to go. There's no excuses.
I don't really have nothing on my sleeve, but, that's kind of one of the reasons I went to Ohio State was to play in the cold and to get used to that. So, I played in cold weather games before, kind of used to them, but at the same time, we really don't play in the cold here, but definitely have been trained by it in college.
Good point there by CJ. Dan, how do you see the weather affecting this game?
It's got to be their defense. Mina talked about a polar bear. I'll talk Great Wolves. Their secondary's got to play like that. They got to hunt like a pack. They got to be sticky, play with great speed. This is advantage Kansas City because their comfort level in it. But I thought going into the game, Houston should play a ton of sticky man coverage. And I think even more so now, if it's going to be this cold with some wind in the forecast, I would challenge Patrick Mahomes on a consistent basis. How good can you be with your ball placement and that type of environment and allow players like Lassiter and Stingley to stay as close as possible to those receivers and force just perfect throws from Patrick in those inclement weather and winds?
All right, Dan, speaking of the weather, you are looking live at Laura Rutledge. Laura, you were telling me in the break that it's pretty nice now compared to what it is going to be like tomorrow. So give me your weather report and the latest on the Texans' preparation for this one.
Yeah, Hannah, I'm sweating in this vest right now. It's like overkill because it's about 50 degrees. But tomorrow at kickoff, real field temperature of 7 degrees, wind gusts up to 28 miles per hour, consistent winds around 15 miles per hour. And Dan mentioned that sticky coverage. That's exactly what D'Amico Ryans was emphasizing for this Texans defense. And I asked Derek Stingley Jr. about the weather. He said, whatever, it's cold. What are you going to do about it? They're going to go out there and play. They know the importance of this game. But it is a piece of it, certainly, that they're going to be keeping an eye on. Another big key for the Texans right now is trying to figure out all of their injuries. It's been a big story for them this year, but for this game specifically, Robert Woods is a game time decision, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. Joe Mixon with an ankle, he's questionable, so we expect him to play. That's the word I've been getting out of the Texans, as well as Azeez Al-Shire. He's dealing with a knee injury, but I was told to the effect that they are so passionate about wanting to get out there, they're going to do everything possible not to miss this one. And another note that's interesting, they looked back at last season in the divisional round against Baltimore, and they felt like penalties were a big problem. They've worked on that this week, Hannah.
Yeah, penalties can definitely make or break you. Laura, can't wait for your call tomorrow. Thank you so much as we hold down the fort here. Without you, we're going to walk on over here and get our picks for this game. And it's not surprising we're all on the Chiefs. Again, 22-17. Does that feel like a little bit low there? Your cop-out pick there, Dan?
I actually think it's a good number. I think it's a good number. I think it's a pretty fair number.
I mean, he's been picking that same fair number the entire year, guys. So, don't ask
this
him
one
to
actually
change.
makes a little sense. That Texans defense, don't sleep on.
Yeah,
He's
okay.
consistent.
All right. So you think it could be a low-scoring game for the Chiefs. All right. See, you know what? Some cold weather awaits the NFL divisional round games this weekend. We've got you covered with everything you need to know. I've always wanted to do the weather. Yay. All right. Starting in Philly, expecting some snow, temperatures around 34 degrees at game time. And here's Eagles offensive tackle Jordan Mailata on how he's feeling about a possible snow game.
It was miserable. It's miserable, I'm not going to lie. But as one of the advantages of playing at home, you've got to get used to this weather. And for it to be very consistent weather, it's good for us. But then again, it's whoever shows up on Sunday.
Yeah, the Aussie doesn't really love these temperatures. As we pop up Mina Kimes, how should the Eagles take advantage of the weather?
the same way that they have all year long, although I think with this weather it actually works in their favor. They're going to pound the rock and out-physical the Rams at the line of scrimmage. I mentioned yesterday that the Eagles have the heaviest offensive line in the NFL. Our researcher, Bonds, actually told me their combined weight is equal to that of a polar bear, which is the heaviest mammal. You do not want to run into Mekhi Becton at any point. You certainly don't want him coming at you when it's that cold outside. I do think this is something helpful to the Philadelphia Eagles.
See the kind of things that you learn here on NFL Live. That was very good. To Buffalo now, where the Bills are hosting the Ravens on Sunday night. The temperature at kickoff expected to be 19 degrees. And Ravens corner Marlon Humphrey was asked about the advantage of having Derrick Henry on his side in the cold.
Having him is huge. He's upset us in our stadium, and he also just put on a great performance with us. So I know it's no fun taking those hits because he usually brings the hit to you, to the defender. So, being with him in college, he's always a pretty locked in guy, but seeing the urgency he takes, the approach, just the locked inness that I've seen him over these past couple weeks into the season, it seems like he's locked in on a different level.
All right, let's pop up RC. RC, obviously you've had a lot of experience playing in the cold weather. What's your advice for anyone trying to tackle King Henry in the freezing cold?
Hey, run up there fast as you can, close your eyes and pray. That's all you can do. Listen, when you're playing against a guy like him, who brings the physicality as a running back to the defender, you have to attack him. You have to get to him. You have to get to those legs, to those thigh boards, and make him feel the hits as much as you do. But I'll tell you this, if Derrick Henry gets rolling downhill and he punches you in the face like he did Minka Fitzpatrick last week, it's going to freaking hurt. It's going to hurt when he hits your face mask. It's going to hurt when the back of your helmet hits the ground.
Yeah, that hurts in any weather against Derrick Henry. RC, close your eyes and pray. I like that advice. All right, to Kansas City, the defending champs.
YouTube của mình, video ngày hôm nay của mình sẽ là những video tô mò. Đây, những video tô mò của những sản phẩm con vật đây các bạn ạ. Đây là con chim cánh cụt này, mình tô rất chi là nhiều con vật. Ở đây con cá sấu này, nhiều lắm. Các bạn hãy cùng theo dõi mình tô những sản phẩm nha. Đây. Và để tô được sản phẩm của mình không thể nào thiếu được hộp săn mò. Đây là hộp săn mò của mình thường dùng này, nó phụ trợ cho mình tô mò sản phẩm. Và bây giờ các bạn cùng theo dõi mình tô mò nha.
Bây giờ mình sẽ tiếp tô mò nha các bạn.